want to thank Ben Tennant and Ben Tennant specifically for the creation of this video. I think ever since the OG League bricked and ever since we've kind of got off the ground with the rebooted league, even though we as a league have done an incredible job at keeping these seasons going despite a drop of interest, I think there's been a lot of kind of lack of motivation by its content creators to really put their best foot forth when it comes to, creating content, Madden-centered content for this rebooted league. It's been a bit of a struggle mentally. I've tried, I've commentated some games, I've written a couple articles, I've done this, I've done that, but it's definitely a struggle compared to the OG league, which I think we're all kind of seeing in our own way. We're kind of counting out the clock here in terms of the rebooted league. But I wanted to thank Ben Tennant because about a week ago, he essentially told all the content creators to get off their asses, inject some juice, inject some heart into this league, make some videos, make some tiers, make some rankings, make some team-specific content, do whatever it is you got to do to kind of get whatever makes BL so special, what makes BL so great, kind of get that juice and get that energy back into the league. So, Ben, I hear you. This is definitely going to be the longest YouTube video, the longest, the longest piece of content that I've done, at least since the reboot started. But Ben, I want to give a shout out to you. This video is dedicated to you, and it's dedicated, of course, to the rest of the league. So for this one, I'm going to give my complete rankings 1 through 25 best better league users in history. I'm going to give a complete playoff breakdown, game by game, give score predictions, give very specific analytics and breakdowns into each playoff game for this season. And then finally, I'm going to give a complete Madden 24 preview, look at all 32 teams, look at the rookies, and look at every single new piece that's been added in free agency that will move forward and make Madden 24 as exciting as it can be. Or I can say fuck all that and I can do a Fall Guys tier list, right? So here's what we got here. And shout out to my guys who play Fall Guys with me. We have every single level here that has ever been put down, including all the variants, which we'll talk about in a little bit. It's got the variants too, but we've got every single level, seasons 1 through 9. It does not include the new season 10 user-created or dev-created levels, which is fine because there are like 20 of them and I haven't played most of them, so it'll be just like a lot of boring analytics for you. But I'm going to create a complete tier list. Finally, I know this is what the street's been calling for. They said, Connor, please, when is the Fall Guys tier list dropping? Well, beg no more, ladies and gentlemen, because I am here. We have all these different tiers. S tier, we'll save it for the best of the best. We don't give S tier out lightly, ladies and gentlemen. Believe me, if I put something in S tier, that's because it is a god tier, a heaven sent level in Fall Guys. We got the traditional, A, B, C, D. Again, much like S tier, hell tier is very specific. Hell tier means like you borderline want a dashboard when you see this level get pop up. You're not going to do it because you're a competitor and the rest of your guys in your squad are competitors, but you really want to. Like maybe your thumb just hovers over that middle Xbox button just a little bit and then didn't play, so I just don't remember. That may be the case. I'll remember like 95% of these probably, but there may be a couple of variants. There may be a couple of special levels that were only introduced for limited time that, maybe I just don't have the memory because, ladies and gentlemen, I've been playing Fall Guys for a long time. A long, long time. Way before we did the Fall Guys Sunday nights, way before the Fall Guys chat was a thing, I was grinding with my brother. Pause. But I was grinding Fall Guys with my brother every single weekend, and I'm pretty good at it. You don't mind me practicing. I'm pretty good at it. So we are going to go down again. It's a lot of levels here, and we are going to give our analysis for every single one and tier them. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, you get the hard eyes, you get the smile, you get the laughing, and we are so blessed. We're so blessed to be here. I don't know, 97 people, I don't know what y'all are doing because this is about as good of a tier list as they're going to be. So we're going to go one by one. Big fans, an OG level here. I think this is a season 2 one, if I remember correctly. I don't believe they put this in season 1, but really, really solid level. I think this is kind of like, I would like a lot of levels to be like this, where it's just like a long skill-based race. You got to be very specific with your jumps, very specific. You got to read the direction the fans are going, really go with them instead of trying to fight them, which I still see a lot of you better leaguers do. You got to go with the fans. Don't try to fight the fans. The fans are your friend. The friends are not your foe, ladies and gentlemen. But it's not quite, in my opinion, at that S level, but still a very, very solid level. So we're putting it in A. Block Party. So there are 2 variants of this, and I'm gonna kind of split it down the middle because there are 2 variants of this. There's the super easy variants, which is like one of those brain dead levels there is, and you just have to like move side to side a little bit and you're good. And then there's the hard variant, which they introduced, I want to say around season 4 or 5, which is like legitimately difficult, and which I think I would probably put that in A as well. But then the regular Block Party I would put kind of like borderline C or D, kind of, if there was like a C minus D plus, I put it in there. So because I think they got rid of the hard variant, and because I think the easy variant is kind of the default one, I'm going to put it in C. I'm going to give it a little respect and bump it up from D. But to me, when you combine the easy variant, when you combine the hard variant, it's an average round, right? It's fine. It's whatever. It's kind of, it's pretty milquetoast, honestly. You don't get super excited, don't get super down on yourself when you see Block Party. Pretty easy, but a lot of Fall Guys rounds are easy, and you can't necessarily ding them all for that. So Block Party C tier. Hoarders, it's a team game. The problem with team games and the way they've been implemented in Fall Guys, which a lot of my Fall Guys brothers, a lot of my Better League brothers have heard this rant before, is like they implement it in a way where you're often on teams with people who are not in your squad. So like you and your boys can be hustling, you can be grinding, you can be turning up, but then like if your other 4 teammates are scrubs, if they don't know what they're doing, or if they're just not trying, or if they're bums, then you're fucked. Like, that's all there is to it. So, like, you're going to tend to see team games, unless it's, like, a really good team game, which we'll get to. You're going to tend to see team games in either C, D, or Hell. But I do think Hoarders is one of the better ones. There's no grabbing involved. It's pretty fun. It's a good length. I'm going to put it C. I'm going to put Hoarders as C as well. It's borderline C or D, just like Block Party, but I'll give it a little respect because I think it's one of the better team games, and I'm going to put it C. Fruit Shoot is really fun. There's no really, I mean, there are a couple of season 10 maps that are kind of like this, but really up until then, there's no real equivalent to Fruit Shoot where it's just like you're going up a treadmill and you just have to dodge those fruit, ladies and gentlemen. You have to swerve to the left. You have to swerve to the right. And you just have to do the best you can. And sometimes there's some yeetuses, there's some hammers on the side. If you want to get really risky, you can try to jump off the side, like near the bottom of the map, and get yeeted about halfway up the map. It's pretty risky. I don't usually do it because I think you can pretty easily qualify just the normal way, in my opinion. But a big quality factor for this is what specific fruit they fling at you. Because if it's circular, if it's like, oval shaped fruits, if it's like those mangoes, peaches, whatever you want to call it, then it's pretty good. But sometimes they send bananas at you. Those bananas will just bounce wherever they want to. There's no physics involved. And then sometimes they fling like footballs, soccer balls, like whatever the fuck else they send. Like they do sports balls essentially, and they fling those at you. And then that's kind of weird. The footballs kind of bounce in weird directions too. So I like a little more predictability. I like to be able to kind of like game it out and, generally know where the mangoes and peaches are bouncing. So again, it's a little like it can vary a little bit. I'm putting this B though. I think Fruit Shoot's a solid round, truth be told. Like I think it's fun. Like I generally am happy when I see Fruit Shoot, even though it's probably one of my lesser rounds. It's not one I'm especially good at. I like seeing Fruit Shoot up there. So big shout out to the Fruit Shoot. As far as Tipco goes, again, a very unique one. It definitely gets points for being unique. There's no other round like it where essentially the name of the game is most of these tiles are fake. There's one real kind of solid path that you have to find, and you have to be one of the first 10, 12 however many to qualify. The problem with this is not in terms of the theory of the game, it's in terms of the execution. What it always ends up being is just everyone is just coalesced around one block. No one wants to be the first to make that move. So essentially people try to push each other off of the block until you get, until you're able to find like where the actual real path is, or until enough people fall where you know where the real path is. But it's not very fun. Like I think the idea of Tiptoe is a B, but in practice, I think it's a D, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's just not very good in execution. And I don't think that's necessarily the fault of the devs. It's just like that's the meta, right? That's how it's played. So not especially great there, certainly, but Tiptoe. Dizzy Heights, S, right away, S. I mean, Dizzy Heights is, I think, one of the 5 absolute best rounds out there. It is a season 1 round. I think it's the best season 1 round. You got to get real athletic, again, kind of like Big Fans. You got to go with the treadmills. You cannot fight the treadmills. You got to go with the treadmills. But I mean, think of the multiple stages of Dizzy Heights, right? Because you start with the treadmills, then you climb a short hill. You have to pass the or no, I'm thinking a Whirly Gig. I'm sorry, but there is a big hill, and you have to you have to either go middle and climb the hill at the top go middle or go around the sides, and it's a truly electric round in my opinion. Like there's a legit like skill gap to this one, which you can't say for a lot of Fall Guys rounds, but there's a legit skill gap to this round, and I really enjoyed it. It gets an automatic S tier just right away. That's one of those like no doubt ones. Egg Scramble. Now this, ladies and gentlemen, I don't like team games. That's one red flag. That's one strike against it. I don't like grabbing based games because I still don't think to this day, I still don't think Fall Guys has fully figured out the grabbing mechanic. It's a little janky. It's a little questionable at times. So I don't like, that's strike 2 against it. But it's not quite hell tier. Like we'll get to some hell tier ones later on, ladies and gentlemen. Believe me on that. But it's not quite hell tier. Like it's good enough to rise out of the hell tier ranks, but not much better. It's going in D. It's, there are already 2 strikes against it right out of the gate just with the way it's structured, but it's not the absolute bottom of the barrel. Like I'm not groaning when I see Egg Scramble pop up in the queue. So fine with it. I'm fine with Egg Scramble ultimately. It gets a D, maybe a borderline D minus, but it's in the D tier. It doesn't belong in hell. Egg Siege, I think this is a slightly better version of Egg Scramble. There's a little more, like, you have to think a little more in terms of both defending. It's obviously in the medieval theme, which I believe is season 3. It's in the medieval themed course where you have drawbridges to go over. There's like a whole fortress theme with where you have to drop the eggs. And the one flaw I will say with Egg Siege is I think it's a lot harder to get eggs out of people's bases. Because you have to go all the way down a whole story. You have to climb up a whole ramp just to like get it out versus Egg Scramble. It's like a lot easier. It's a lot more equalized in that way. So based on that, I probably don't think Egg Siege is quite as good as Egg Scramble. It's again, it's not hell. It's not hell, but we're gonna try to, as we go, we're gonna try to rank these within the tiers as well. And so far I feel good about this. Tiptoe, Egg Scramble, Egg Siege, all in D tier. Fall Ball, you get real athletic here. Now again, there are variants with this one. People know what I'm talking about here. There's the variant where there's the treadmill in the middle that goes in a circular rotation that kind of throws it around. There's the variant, which this is a hell tier variant. There's a variant where there's a swinging pendulum with a ball on it in the middle of each goal that kind of helps deflect the goals. And on those, it's like damn near impossible to score because not only are you dealing with goalkeepers, not only are you dealing with defense, but you're dealing with that as well. And it's pretty big. It's like it takes up a lot of the goal, and that is just a horrible variant. But Fall Ball as a whole, a lot of fun. You can get athletic with your brothers. I'm putting it in B. Like I think the main variant's A tier. I think same with the one. You also have the one where the boxing gloves punch out of the walls and kind of send the ball flying. That's fine too. That's probably a little bit lower. It's probably B tier. But overall, when you combine all the variants and you combine kind of the spirit behind this round, it's B. It's a solid B. I don't think it's as good as Fruit Shoot, but it's a B. Fall Mountain. Now, man, like season 1, season 2, I would have put this S tier without a thought, but I do agree with people. It's a little played out at this point, and people have like so perfected it that if you make one mistake, you're done. And also, I will say, this isn't quite as skill based as I originally thought it was. Like you do have to get lucky, like right away, and as soon as the round starts, you have to get lucky with which path you choose. Because if you get hit by one ball, if you get hit by one hammer, you are done, and there's really no way to tell, which path to take unless you're already halfway through the path. So not S tier with Dizzy Heights, but an A tier, solid A tier. And as a matter of fact, I would put it above Big Fans. I would say it's right. There we go. I would say it's above Big Fans, and it's high A tier. Again, it's fallen down in recent months, recent seasons, but still, you have to give respect to the OG final. Fall Mountain, still one of the best finals in my opinion. Freezy Peak, borderline S tier. It's like I'm really like having to deliberate with myself right now, and I knew there would be hard decisions in this content. I knew I would have to kind of like really think about this. I think it's gonna go highest A tier, like the highest A tier you think of. It may not move from this number 1 position. It's not quite at that same legendary level as some of the other races, but man, Freezy Peak, a whole lot of fun. You start in one of 3 different like pens in the beginning. You either have to deal with the hammer fists, the hammer boxing gloves, or you have to deal with the swinging pendulums, or you have to deal with the fans blowing you back. One of the three, and the fans is definitely the easiest to deal with. If you see that you've started in that pen that's a back secure, that probably means you're qualifying no matter what, because that's absolutely the easiest way to start. Again, that knocks it down, that kind of like variability at the beginning, but a lot of fun. You have to, you have to shoot yourself across the edge. You have to climb, slowly climb this area right here, deal with the hammer fists, deal with the snowballs if you want to go to the outside to the left, and then you have to get real athletic here, ladies and gentlemen, real athletic where there are the treadmills, and then it's just, it blows you up, and you just celebrate at the finish line. Freezy Peak and Elite. I want to put so bad, but I can't do it, ladies and gentlemen. The highest A tier, the most respect possible in A tier for Freezy Peak. Gate Crash, I mean, this to me is the definition of a C tier round. I mean, it's fine. It's pretty, like, once you've done it a couple times, you've kind of seen it all. Like, it's always, I shouldn't say always, it's usually the same pattern in terms of when the doors go up and down. Like, once you've kind of gamed it out, once you've seen it, like I said, once you've seen it a couple times, you can qualify pretty much 100% of the time, unless you're trash. Like, it's not the hardest round in the world, but it's not trash either, most certainly. So I would say C tier, probably above Block Party, and then yes, definitely above Hoarders, because you do have to be pretty solid with the timing here, and then you do have these. I don't even know what you want to call those, but those obstacles moving back and forth, which provide a little bit of variability as well. So high C tier for Gate Crash. Hexagon. This is a very, very controversial round. This is a very controversial round with my Better League brothers. Now, if they just didn't give Hexagon to us as much, I would borderline put it S tier, like as a final. But and you can take this however you want to, ladies and gentlemen, they have just shoved Hexagon all the way down our throats, especially in those middle seasons. I mean, there were multiple seasons where Hexagon and where is it? Where is it, ladies and gentlemen? Don't hide from me. Hexa Ring, that was Electra content. Hexagon and Hexa Ring were really like the only two finals they were giving us, and it was especially Hexagon. So for that reason, for just the overexposure factor, I have to put it B, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's like an S tier idea, an S tier concept, but I have to give it a B. I mean, is it better than Fruit Shoot? Yes. Is it better than Fall Ball? Yes. But it's just the overexposure factor, which, it might be harming its tier. That may delegitimize the tier in your eyes, and I apologize for that. But that's kind of the way I see it right now. It's just they threw it at us too much. It's like a really good song, and then they, play it on the radio 20 times, and you're sick of it, right? Hit Parade, oh man, it's middle A tier. The question is, do I put it above or below Fall Mountain? I think I put it above Fall Mountain because Hit Parade, really, that's the round I associate with like OG season 1 Fall Guys. Like that's when y'all were still in your Fall Guys diapers, right? When y'all were like hadn't even heard of Fall Guys. This is the round that myself and my brother were just grinding day in and day out, getting our kudos, getting our crowns. This was the round, and it's a really fun round too. There's some legitimate challenge to it for certain. There's the starting area where it's now become the meta to intentionally fall down instead of going to the top route, and you slide down the slime, climb up, go through the rotating cylinders, and then of course you have this real athletic part at the end. You have to dodge the swinging pendulums and then climb up the slime at the very end. Like there's a lot of you can get real athletic here, I suppose is what I'm trying to say, and that's definitely gonna move it up. And I think it's better than Fall Mountain. Not quite as good as Freezy Peak, but Hit Parade, a classic, and you have to give it its respect, put it in A tier. No. Hoopsie Daisy goes D, because actually Hoopsie Daisy is not as toxic of a level. It's not that bad of a level. It's it's always red versus blue versus yellow. Same with Hoopsie Legends. But the thing that makes Hoopsie Daisy a bit better, frankly, is that it's easier. It's not like quite as toxic. You're not having to deal with climbing fucking boxes and doing all this shit every time. It's just like a pretty standard round. Whereas Hoopsie Legends, I mean, immediate hell tier, like no question in my mind. It is just the most toxic, the most trash round I can think of. Like pretty much once you've gotten one gold ring, you win, which is not, I mean, you just got lucky with that, frankly, more than anything else. And it's just a battle. Like people like of people trying to like climb the same box, get the same gold ring. It's a mess, and I don't. Hoopsy Legends is just beyond boring. And same deals as Hexagon, excuse me. They really forced this down our throats, man. Seasons 5, Season 6, back when Fall Guys Sunday nights was alive and well, they were really shoving this down our throats, man. And I did not like it then, and I don't like it now. Hell tier for Hoopsy Legends. D tier for Hoopsy Daisies, a bit better, but it's the bottom of D tier, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it's still, you're ultimately jumping for hoops, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, how exciting is that? Right. Can't possibly do it. Why this ad? Oh, fuck. No. I don't know what I was doing there, ladies and gentlemen. I would cut that out, but I have no editing skills. Jinxed. It's between D and Hell. It is between D and Hell. I'm going to set it here for now, and let me talk this through. Let me talk this out. So it's a team game, right? No. Yes, it is a team game. Red versus blue. 1 versus 2, and it's pretty much you're spreading COVID. You're pretty much coughing at everyone, aka grabbing everyone. The reason, so it falls for 2 reasons. It's a grabbing-based game. That's 1 strike. It's a team game. That's 2 strikes. I don't know if it's as bad as Hoopsy Legends, but it still goes in Hell tier, and let me tell you why. Let me tell you why it goes in Hell tier. Oh my god, come on. Let me tell you why it goes in Hell tier. There we go. There is no skill to this. I'm sorry, because the grabbing mechanics, like the entire conceit behind this game is just you get the suds, you get COVID, and then you just like grab people. You just chase and you grab. And it is so easy to avoid grabbing. You jump, you dive, and like that's all you got to do. It's super, super easy to avoid unless you're like literally surrounded by people. It's just like so toxic, and you can be right on top of someone. You can, seemingly grab them. You can get your hands on them. You can put hands on them, and it will not activate. And until they fix that, a lot of these grabbing-based games, they're gonna be in hell. I'm sorry, it is what it is, and Jinxed is key among them. That's a toxic round. Not as bad as Hoopsy Legends, but that's a toxic round. Jump Club is the regular round. It's not the final, which is Jump Showdown. It's the regular round, and it's too easy. The problem is it's too easy, and like it's a fun round, but honestly, for half of it, what you do is you just you chase this the green tube. You just chase it around until it speeds up, and then it is just so easy to qualify in this round. I'm sorry, like you have to either get grabbed by someone with the perfect timing, or you just have to be complete dog shit at the game. I'm sorry, in order to not qualify in Jump Club. It's one of the absolute easiest rounds there is, and for that reason, it can't go above C tier. Now, is it as good as Gate Crash? I would say it's below Gate Crash. Is it as good as Block Party? Yeah, I'd say it's better than Block Party, so I'd put it right here. But I mean, Jump Club, it's whatever, right? Great concept, but they either need to boost it up like 15 more seconds, or they need to make the green tube faster right out of the gate, because it is like you can spend half the damn round just like chasing it, and there's no challenge to that. But that's if you're a Fall Guys OG like me, like if you're someone who plays the meta, that's how you do it, ladies and gentlemen. That's how you do it. You just chase the green tube, and that's not fun for anyone. So C tier for Jump Club. Not bad, but better execution. Maybe we bump it up to B or even A. Jump Showdown. This is B tier. I think so. Better than Fall Ball. I'd say right here. This is a fun final. I enjoy this final. I would say the one issue with it is it's way too easy. And I guess this is just kind of like the name of the game, right? This is just a part of it. Like, maybe, luck is a factor in these Fall Guys rounds, but it's too easy to just like stand on a portion of the round or a portion of the course, I should say, where it falls and you have no chance at jumping to one of the other ones. And that's kind of like a cheap way to lose. So there's that, or there's people being toxic and grabbing you, but that has nothing to do with the round. I think it's a fun round. It's just like winner takes all, and it can get real fast, ladies and gentlemen. It can get real toxic. Not like Jump Club that's set on a timer. It can get real fast, and that bumps it up. It's a slightly above average final, I would say. Middle B tier, I feel good about this. Night Fever. Now this has become, it was always a fun one. It's become a really fun one ever since they added the game mechanic where you can slide down the slime and speed up. You can kind of like slide through those axes, or you can get risky. Maybe the axes hit you off and you have to start over. But that has made it a bit fun. To me, it's like it's either low A or high B. I'm going to put it the highest B, I think, is Night Fever, because I don't think it's quite at the level of these races. These are some classic races, and then of course a classic final here with Fall Mountain. But Night Fever's fun. I mean, there's some legit, there's a legit skill gap with this one as well. I think the hardest part probably being the one you see right here with this purple cylinder. And then you have the spiked tubes kind of swinging back and forth. That's definitely the hardest part of the round. It gets a little easier once you hit the end, but fun rounds. Night Fever, certainly won't complain. Again, a little bit of overexposure when it first came out, but can't knock it too heavily. I would give it a B. Tundra Run, lots of fun. It's mid A tier, I would say. I'd say above Hit Parade, truth be told. Like, I mean, this was the second season, I believe, or the third. I can't remember which. I think it was the second, though, with the snow variant, the winter variant. And man, they came out with Freezy Peak and Tundra Run, two absolute slappers. I mean, that's pretty good. That's the type of quality I like to see. Tundra Run, a lot of fun. I don't have too much to say about it. You can get real sweaty, and if you zoom in, so there's a fan here. You see this fan, and if you get really sweaty, I've only done it like twice in my life, you can blow yourself all the way over this hammer fist, this boxing fist area, and you can really just get athletic and vault yourself into first place. Now, it's really hard. I've tried it a lot of times and failed a lot of times. Would not recommend it. As a matter of fact, I usually take the side route here more than anything, because I think the start is a little too risky. But man, I mean, really fun round. Cannot complain. Tundra Run, borderline A+ tier, if not, at the very least mid A tier. Perfect Match. It's just like, again, it's like theory. Like, there's nothing like it. I give it points for creativity, but it ends up just being people to follow the crowd, and that's not fun. But if you want to, if you want to actually like think it out, if you actually want to, play the game the way it was intended and memorize where the fruits are, the final round's pretty difficult. It throws like 6 different fruit at you, right? You have to, it's pretty decent memory game. So it's above Hell. I'd say it's low C tier or maybe high D. Oh gosh. Is it closer to Hoarders or Tiptoe? I would say it's closer to I'd say it's closer to Hoarders, actually. So I would put it low C tier. It's between C and D, certainly, but low C tier for Perfect Match. Hell tier right away. Penguin Pursuit. I mean, you can be humping those penguins. You can be making sweet, passionate love to those penguins and grabbing them, and it will not react. And then as soon as one person grabs you, the penguin flies like all the way into the air, all the way to the damn other side of the map. This is a toxic round. This is a team round as well, which further knocks it down. Grab based, and those penguins, like, they break your ankles like Allen Iverson did to Tyronn Lue. Like, it is so embarrassing. I've gotten sauced so many times. Like, these penguins, they have human joystick, they have evasive, they have all that shit, right? It is real tough dealing with these penguins, and just not a fun game whatsoever. I think, actually, matter of fact, this is the worst one we've seen so far. It's worse than Hoopsie Legends. I mean, Penguin Pursuit is a rage-inducing game. Absolutely rage-inducing, and for that reason, I mean, it has to be Hell. It has to be bottom of Hell, matter of fact. Rock and Roll, this is one they've not given us for a while. This is a team game, but it is easily, in my opinion, one of the better team games out there. You're essentially like, well, first off, I would put it low B tier. So you're essentially, it's red versus blue versus yellow, as are the case with most team games. You're pushing this ball essentially through an obstacle course. The only knock against this is, as the Fall Guys meta has been established, as people have gotten good at this game, pretty much people will just like ignore their own ball and just get real toxic, and you'll have like 3 people lining up at the end of this first at the end of this first stage here, and just completely prevent, let's say yellow in this example, completely prevent yellow from moving. And there's truly nothing you can do about it, because there's no chat. You can't you can't really strategize a ton with your teammates. So that's tough in execution, but the concept of this is really fun. I like it a lot. So low B, I would say. Is it better than Fall Ball? Is it better than any of these? I wouldn't say so, but I think it's also kind of a clear tier above any of these. So low B tier for Rock and Roll. Now we have Roll Off and Roll Out. Roll Off, I think, is Roll Out is the regular game. Way too easy. Let me tell you, and this is something I told Dan recently, so maybe he's listening to this and nodding his head. I have never, in my Fall Guys career, I've played Rollout probably over 100 times at this point, legitimately. I have never in my life not qualified in Rollout. I find it very easy. Let me zoom in. Let me educate the people. You stand, there's no reason to run all the way across the cylinder. You stand between 2 sections right here, and you just go back and forth depending, right? I don't care if they're flinging fruit at you. I don't care what they're doing. They can, people can be grabbing, people can be doing that. It is, in my eyes, it is one of the easiest rounds out there. So it can't be that high, but I really like the concept behind it. I think it's a lot of fun. So I would say high C tier. I truly would. We're moving this, high C tier for rollout because I think it's a great round, truth be told, but it's too easy. Like, I wish I would make it faster, but you have to appeal to the 8-year-olds. All right. 30-second break while I take a drink of water. This will not be edited out because I don't have the skills. Absolutely delicious, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. Now, roll off. I think. Let me scroll down real quick. I think roll off. Yeah. Okay. So roll on is a race. Roll off is the final, I believe. I borderline want to look this up. I'm gonna look this up real quick. Another 30-second break. Roll off. Fall guys, because there's roll out, roll on, roll off, right? There's a lot. Final round variant. There we go. I thought so. I mean, I should have just trusted my gut there, man. Roll off. Overexposure. I've seen it too much. It is pretty fun, but I don't think it's like it. I mean, it's kind of in the same vein as roll out. Like it's a little bit worse, I would say, than roll out. It's kind of just like a mid final. Like, it's fine. It's whatever. You see it and you shrug your shoulders, right? There's two quadrants. There's two sections. It keeps going and going and going, keeps rolling. The slime rolls up, or the slime flows up, excuse me. And you just have to be the last man standing, the last bean standing. And it's fun. It's okay. It is what it is. Roll fumble. Now, listen, I would have put this fucking at the bottom of hell tier if you had asked me this like 6 months ago, but I think they've improved it slightly. I like, even though it is a grabbing-based game, let me clarify, this is the final where you have to be the final one with the tail at the end. I enjoy the layout of the course, and I do, like, for some reason, like, it seems like the grabbing works better with tails than it does with, like, eggs or penguins or whatever the fuck else. Like, it seems like it works better. So we're bumping it up. We're putting it, I'd say, between Egg Scramble and Egg Siege. I think it's mid-D tier. It's not a great final. It's not a great final, but it's good enough. You can see, there's the final, the final being there. With just no one around them. That's not sim. That's not sim at all. But you end up being the final one with the tail, and you can get athletic here, so it's a lot of fun. Seesaw, again. Points for creativity. There's no other round that's really like it. It is very, very heavily determined by where you start, like where you are in terms of the starting line. And my Fall Guys OGs know, if you are in the middle of the first seesaw at the front, you can pretty much just run in a straight line and you're going to finish top 5. Like, there's literally nothing anyone can do about it because you're the ones, starting the weight distribution, and you're the ones who are able to jump between seesaws while it's still relatively flat. So I have to knock it for how like lottery based it is almost in terms of where you start, but it's still fun. Like, it's still fine. I would put it, it's definitely C tier. Is it better than Jump Club? I would say yes. Is it better than Gate Crash? I would say yes. I'm putting it before the rollouts. The rollouts and the roll-offs. I think I'm putting it right here, like high middle C tier. For Seesaw, it's fine, but again, way too heavily determined by where you start. And again, the people in the Fall Guys chat, they're nodding their head with me because this is definitely, I think this is the single round that is most heavily predicated. Like, your success is most heavily predetermined by where you start. Like, if you're at the bottom, matter of fact, as I talk about it, we're bumping it down a couple, because if you start at the back, you are fucked. Like, the seesaws are going to tip completely, like 90 degrees. They're going to be at a complete invert. You have no chance. Or just have to like wait and be like ultra patient, like pray you can be one of the like final 5 people to qualify. So it goes below Jump Club and Block Party because those aren't so luck based. I'm putting it here. Ski Fall, really, really, really fun. Really fun. And I really like the Portal variant. Like the Portal variant for Ski Fall is borderline S tier. They got rid of it. I don't think it's on this it's on this tier, excuse me. So we're gonna put this, it's definitely A tier. Is it better than Freezy Peak? No. Is it better than Tundra Run? I would say yo. I'd say no. Hit Parade, I give points for being an OG. I would put it right here. I'll put it right here. Now, again, ladies and gentlemen, think of it this way. Like, the winter season was the best season they ever had. We're looking at 3 A tiers right here. 3 high A tiers, as a matter of fact. Really, really solid. But essentially, like, you're sliding down the ice. There are 3 different... it's almost like, what's that game? Skee Ball. It's like, there are 3 different, like, skee ball things where you have to kind of leap into the gold circles in order to get more points, the gold holes. And it's a team game, I think. It can be a team game or it can be solo. You have solo versions and team versions of Ski Fall, but first person to get to X number of points wins. It's fun. It's simple. I enjoy it. Slime Climb, S tier. S tier right away. I mean, Slime Climb, like, I wish they had, like, 10 versions of, like, Slime Climb or Slime Scraper. I mean, this is what Fall Guys is all about right here. You're all running down a pretty tight obstacle course. It's legitimately challenging. The slime is rising. It's, it's creating that pressure on you where, you have to be pitch perfect or else you're gonna get knocked into the slime. And the best that we've talked about so far. Easy S tier, no notes. Snowy Scraper, it's a worse version of, where is it? It's a worse version of Rock and Roll. Like, there's really, like, not as much fun with this one. You're pretty much just, like, pushing balls around the snow until they grow enough. Pretty quickly, people find out who the third place is and they just, like, bully the shit out of them, and that's what usually determines who loses. It's okay. There's not a lot to it. I would put it, it's above Hoard. I would say it's between Seesaw and Hoarders, truth be told. Like, it's low-ish C tier. There's just not a lot to it, but it's not trash either. Like, it's fine. It's an okay round, truly. Tail Tag, probably the best grabbing-based game that there is, honestly. You start off with, like, anywhere between 16 and 20 people. Half of that number, that's how many tails are there, and you have to finish with the tail. Now, the one issue with this round is that you really, like, there's no reason not to just stand still until there's, like, 15, 20 seconds left, because you're putting yourself not at any sort of competitive disadvantage by doing that. Like, you can just, like, hang out for a minute and then start trying, because you don't want to be the one with the tail, like, all minute 30, because you got people chasing you. You might kind of fuck yourself at the end. I think this is a fun one. I'm putting it low B. I'm putting it between Fall Ball and Rock and Roll. I think it's low B tier. It's an above average round, but not much above that. Door Dash, an OG, luck based, but you can get real athletic here. You can your third eye can open up, if you will. For me, Door Dash is like, it's okay. I mean, really, like, the best way to play this is to be at kind of that second level of beans where, like, you let other people be the ones to test the doors, and then you just, like, try to be the first to follow whoever it is. And then another thing that's toxic about this is the final set of doors. There's 3 at the end. Only one of them is fake. Only one of them actually opens up. And then you just have a clusterfuck of beans trying to get through there. And there can be some real weird ragdoll physics, some real weird, like, people just, like, popping up. I've seen people, like, get flung out of the map damn near at times. So, like, that's kind of toxic. Still B tier. It's still fun. I put it here. I put it below Fruit Shoot, above Jump Showdown. I think it's mid B tier. Thin Ice. A lot of overexposure. So there are 2 variants of this. One of this is a multi-layered one where at the edges you have 1 layer of ice, and then as you get closer to the middle, you have 2, then 3. It's almost like a birthday cake. And then you have one where it's just 3 all the way around. I like the birthday cake version, the former version I just mentioned, a lot better. It's a lot quicker, and B, like, you can kind of strategize it out. Do you be the ones to, or are you the one to, run around the outside and, take out those initial 1 layer areas, or do you just, like, stand in the middle and just try to survive there? There's a bit more strategy to it. I do think Thin Ice is good in terms of, like, you always have to have your head on a swivel. You have to kind of be, like, game planning 2-3 seconds out. Like, what's my B plan? What's my C plan if I end up getting grabbed or whatever? If I end up getting kind of boxed in, you always have to have an escape path. So it's a fun one. I would say B tier. I would say, I'd say it's better than, I'd say it's right here. I like Jump Showdown, I would say very slightly. No, I don't. No, I don't. I like Thin Ice very slightly better than Jump Showdown. It's a little bit, though. It's like by the thinnest of margins. Team Tail Tag, hell. I mean, no, actually, well, Is it as bad as Hoopsie Daisy? No, so I'm going to put it D tier. But, like, you've taken what is a pretty good concept in Tail Tag, and you've just turned it into a team game where, you know, you can ball out, but maybe the rest of your team fucking sucks and you lose anyway. Like, you can end up with a tail, and then you can end up being disqualified regardless, which I hate. But it's not garbage like these three are, so we're putting it low D tier. Is it as bad as Egg Siege? Probably not. So, yeah, low D tier right there between Egg Siege and Hoopsie Daisy. Wall Guys, now this is a fun round, right? Really, really fun, but it's also such a toxic round, man. I mean, you've got people moving the big blocks away from the wall to make it impossible for everyone to qualify. You've got people grabbing you. It can, you know, the grabbing and pulling yourself up can get kind of wonky. It can like not register at times, but it's still fun. I would say, so I would put it, I think, here, like below Fall Ball and above Tail Tag. It's a fun round. You can get athletic. It's I don't know. There's really not a lot to say about it other than like there's a lot of room for toxicity, and it can real quick become like, you know, it's not a hell tier round, but like you can be in a hell tier mindset after you play Wall Guys, because it can be. I mean, it's probably at times the most frustrating round other than Penguin Pursuit. It's probably the most frustrating round of Fall Guys there is, but it's still really, really fun in my opinion. So I'd put it B tier. Whirligig, this, I mean, it's a clear A tier. It's a clear, and for the first time, we're gonna have to like actually scroll here. It's a clear A tier. It's a lot of fun, and actually, when I was describing Dizzy Heights, I think I actually ended up describing Whirligig, so I apologize for that. But yeah, this is the one where, you know, you have the ramp here, and then you're not gonna be able to see it in this picture, but there's, well, you kind of are, but like there's a middle lane right here that you can try to go through, that you can, you know, kind of like dive at the last second, go in between the fan, get real athletic, or you can just take the sides. You know, if you're in a clear lead and you just want to preserve your status, if you want to take the sides, you can do that. But it's a lot of fun, man. I think it's better than Hit Parade. I think it's better than Tundra Run. I'm putting it right here, right between Freezy Peak and Tundra Run. Whirligig, really, really solid. The only slight, I guess, knock against it is I think the opening half of it, really until after you pass these fans, I think it's too easy. It's just like, it's a little too easy, and it's too like, it's been too perfected. Like everyone just kind of like does the same thing, and then you don't really see a lot of separation until this area that you can see right here in the photo. So high A tier for Whirligig. Snowball Survival. So there are two variants of this. One of this is with one snowball. One of this is with two. There are further variants where you can have a safe area that essentially takes up the entire middle of the ring, or you can have kind of the breakable ice more interspersed throughout the round. Those two variables really determine how fun of a round this is. This could be D tier, this could be B tier, depending on those. So I think you have to put it right in the middle and say C, just mid C tier, right? Because if you're looking at one snowball, if you're looking at the variant where it's safe all up the middle, it is so easy, man. You just have to like keep track of one snowball and like just take, make slight adjustments, and that's it. But if there's two snowballs, and if it, you know, if there's like breakable ice interspersed, all of a sudden it can get real sweaty real quick. I mean, you got to keep track of multiple snowballs. You got to keep track of people grabbing you. You got to keep track of like which ice is broken, which isn't, like what levels they're at. So mid C tier, I would say, for Snowball Survival. Basket Fall, you can get real athletic here. Again, I don't love the grabbing mechanic. It's one of the better team games. I'm putting it above Rock and Roll. I'm putting it above Tail Tag, above Wall Guys. Is it above Fall Ball? I think it is above Fall Ball overall. I'm putting it right here. I think mid B tier. It's like this is like the getting athletic tier here. The Jump Showdown, Basket Fall, and Fall Ball. I think all three of those are like very, very similar. But I think I like Basket Fall slightly more just because of like the anti-gravity. You know, you can do some 360 dunks. You can get your Michael Jordan on. You can get your Victor Wemby on, your LeBron on. So really, really fun round. And yeah, it's mid B tier for me. Hoverboard Hero is a lot of fun. It's definitely A tier. I think this is the original variant, I believe, right? Because there's two hoverboards. Let me see real quick. Where is it? I'm doing a real quick scan. No, I think they may have only included this one. So yeah, so this is the second, this is the space-themed version of Hoverboard Heroes, which I think is slightly better than the original one, if I remember correctly. There's more to it. It's mid A tier, I would say, above Hit Parade, below Tundra Run, I think is where I would put that. Really, really fun. Like, the conceit of it is essentially you're standing on a hoverboard. You gotta dodge obstacles. You gotta get sweaty. You gotta get athletic, and you gotta just like stay there until it reaches the final, right? And it's legitimately difficult. So I would give it mid A tier for sure. Now we're seeing, I feel like I'm being a bit too generous here. There's a lot of A, a lot of B, a lot of C, not a lot of hell. I mean, I think we'll get to a couple more, but again, ladies and gentlemen, what did I say? I'm saving the S for like only the instant classics. Now, I'm going to take a final look at this at the end. I might move Freezy Peak up to S. I'm not going to lie to you, I might, but I'm not setting on it yet. We'll see how the full tier list breaks out, and then we will make final alterations as needed, right? Power Trip, this is a team game. This is a team final, I believe, a squad final. You're essentially, you're carrying these batteries pretty much, and you're trying to turn the floor into a certain color. And the problem is with this, and I'm surprised this is the first time I mentioned this, along with many team games, it's 30 seconds too long. Like this, I believe, is a minute 30 long. If you made it just a short and sweet minute, that would be fine. It feels like it drags a little bit at the end. It's still okay. It's not D tier, but it's like low C tier, I would say. It's probably it's above Hoarders, below Snowy Scrap, I would say. It's not a lot of fun. There is some grabbing involved. It's a little like, the only thing that saves it is kind of like the anti-gravity and like in the two-leveled, two-layered variant, I think, which like that variance is like a low B tier. So I would say overall mid to low C tier. It's whatever, it's kind of you shrug your shoulders when you see it. Roll On is the race. I think this is my favorite of the three rolls. Haven't seen it in a while. I think they've put it in the vault, which is kind of sad because I enjoy it. It's either low A or high B. It's probably, looking at this, it's not as good as Night Fever, so it's high B, I would say. Oh, maybe right here, truth be told. It's a lot of fun, man. I mean, it's a good round. It's, legitimately difficult. You're dealing with platforms that are rolling one way or the other, trying to get athletic, trying to get sticky, trying to get that human joystick, and I'd put it high B tier, truth be told. Short Circuit, really, really fun. A tier. Now, the only question is where in A tier? This is another one that's kind of been lost to the vault. Haven't played it in a while, but this was with the space theme, I believe, season 4, which is another just absolute banger of a season. And it's a fun race, man. I think it's not as good as Hoverboard. It's probably better than Hit Parade. So I'd say right here, mid A tier. I enjoy Short Circuit. 2 laps. There's a legitimately difficult part in the middle where you're having to deal with kind of rotating fans like you see here in Dizzy Heights. You're dealing with those, but then you also have the laser blockers that go up and down that you have to perfectly time and jump in between. And when you're dealing with this and those lasers at the same time, like I've seen people stay in that area for like a good 30 seconds just trying to get through that. So legitimate difficulty, 2-lap race, multi-pronged. There are a couple different paths you can take. A lot of fun, I would say. Mid A tier. Skyline Stumble, man. Oh my goodness. This, I am so tempted to put this S. I'm not going to do it, but it is right here. I think it's better than Whirligig. Truth be told, this is one of the absolute best races that there is, and definitely the best race in the space theme season. If you can scroll in a little bit, it's a little pixely, but what you can see is like this part right here is toxic. Usually this is one of these fans right here. Usually you do that. You have these kind of rotating platforms, rotating lasers that you have to either jump over or stay under. And then you either have a pinball flapper that can hit you all the way up, or you can take the sides and get bouncy with these anti-gravity sections. Really, either way is good. I would say, high A tier most certainly for Skyline Stumble. This is one I will never complain. Even though this one you could argue the same overexposure effect, but this one just doesn't get old, man. A lot of fun. Again, one of the more challenging, one of the harder races there is as well. So high A tier most certainly. Big Shots. It's not hell, but it's not much higher, man. It's probably right here. This is one of the easiest rounds there is. You're standing on a seesaw. You're dodging you're dodging projectiles that it flings at you. It takes way too long. It takes a minute 30, like most of these kind of timed games do, and it's just too easy. Like you don't have to do anything. Like I've seen, I think it was me and Lucky. Like we did an entire game where we just hugged each other. We just stood still and we survived. Like where's the strategy in that, right? Where's the athleticism in that? But again, it's not this just garbage, just hell tier right here. But again, you have to be real bad in order to get in hell. So. Low B is what I would say. Or low D, excuse me. Perfect Death Match is a variant of Perfect Match where they put one of the, if we can sweep, if you see, they put one of the sweepers in the middle to kind of add that, and that makes it, that alone makes it better than Perfect Match because you're not just like having to, follow people and that's it. You're dealing with an actual sweeper too that can distract you along with having to memorize where the fruits are, but one thing that you'll find out about Perfect Deathmatch, if you're sweaty like me, if you're about the Fall Guys meta like me, man, you could just stand in the corner of the map and that shit will not hit you. Like it doesn't. I don't know what the devs were thinking. It doesn't cover the entire map. Like you can easily stand on one of the four corner squares until the very end and just not get hit by it. So that is kind of trash. It's slightly better than Perfect Match, probably better than Hoarders as well, but you can't give it too much credit. It's Perfect Match with a sweeper. Like how much more credit can you give it, right? Button Bashers, this is just whatever, man. This is high D tier. It's not as good as Tiptoe. Probably better than X Scramble, so I put it here, but it's 1v1. You're running the buttons. It's very luck based, truth be told. It's very much dependent on which buttons light up, which sometimes you just get the ones that are close to you. Sometimes it can feel near impossible. Sometimes your opponent just happens to be right by all of them. Sometimes you're right by all of them. It's very it feels a lot like playing against Justin on sim mode, right? It's just, there's a lot of toxicity and a lot of stuff that's out of your control that can happen. So high D tier, it's not garbage, but you know what I'm saying? It's whatever. No notes. I don't want to hear it. This is the best round there ever was and the best round there ever will be. The Slime Scraper is goated, ladies and gentlemen. It is a more elaborate, it is a harder, it is a more intense, it is a more exciting version, even of Slime Climb. And I'm so sad that they've put it in the vault for the past couple seasons. S tier, no notes. Moving on. Bubble Trouble, now, I've had some fucking issues with Bubble Trouble, man. Again, very luck-based. A lot of it is based on whether you happen to be in the zone where the bubbles pop up. I think, so if we're getting real meta here, we're getting real inside baseball. Also, how much of this do I have left? Jesus Christ. I'm about halfway done. I'm getting real inside baseball here. I would like Bubble Trouble to be a round later than it usually is, because usually it's like a second round game where there are still 30, 35, 40 people. And I think that's too much because you already have, usually 8 or 10 people covering each round or each segment, excuse me. And it can get really, really difficult. If you don't happen to get lucky with already being near a place where the bubbles generate, it can be really, really difficult to even get any bubbles on the scoreboard. So that's kind of tough. There is some excitement to the variation with the different segments and how athletic you have to get. It's definitely C tier. Better than Hoarders, better than Perfect Deathmatch, better than Power Trip, better than Snowy Scrap. I'd say better this just right here, I'd say. It's fine. It is fun popping bubbles, I'm not gonna lie to you. Matter of fact, just for that and that alone, we're putting it above Snowball Survival. Bouncy. My voice is shot. Usually I can get higher on that. S tier. Is it better than any of these other S tier ones? Probably not. But man, Lowland Leapers is real fun, real athletic. People have kind of perfected it a little bit too much in my eyes, where it's kind of it just kind of is what it is at this point. But what a fun round, man. It's just nothing but sheer athleticism, sheer heart, sheer determination. And I've seen a lot of absolute bums, a lot of absolute window lickers in this round. So that can be pretty exciting too once I've already qualified to watch the 8-year-olds try to handle this. S tier, Lily Leapers. Going from fucking gold to dog shit here. Penguin Pool Party Is this better than Penguin Pursuit? Probably, because there's a little bit more excitement, or it's the map is a little more interesting. I should say there's multiple levels. You can, there's legitimate escapability options. If I can zoom in, you can see you've got a fan here, you've got a slide here, you can stand here and have these obstacles protect you. It's not like Penguin Pursuit where there's truly nothing blocking you and it's just fucking toxicity, just grabbing all over the place. At least there's like a little bit here, a little bit of escapability options, but I mean, at the end of the day, man, it is a game that involves grabbing penguins, and I do not enjoy getting sauced by these penguins. I did not enjoy getting my ankles broken. I do that enough in basketball, or I have that done to me enough in basketball, I should say. I do not enjoy having it done to me in Fall Guys as well, a literal kids game. All right, now stomping ground. 15-second water break. It's delicious. All right. So, 2 variants of stomping ground, right? And we're obviously going to average it out between the 2. There is a variant with 1 rhino, very easy. There is 1 variant with 3 rhinos, ridiculously difficult. So, it's kind of tough to judge this because I think like both variants, like 1 is too easy and this is probably the first and the last time you'll ever hear me say this about a Fall Guys round. I think the one with 3 rhinos is legitimately too hard. Like you just kind of have to get lucky. Like there's not a lot you can do, especially when the lobby gets cleared out and all 3 of them, or even 2 of them are targeting you. It's really, really tough. You have to get really, really sticky, just to survive that. And again, it's a minute 30. Like it takes. So it's definitely, it's not D tier. It's definitely C tier, but like, how much credit can I give it where one of the variants is like laughably easy, and then the other one is fucking toxic? Like, what am I supposed to do about that? Better than Bubble Trouble, better than Block Party. I'd say right here. It's kind of, like I've said about a lot of these, it's mid C tier. Lost Temple. Oh man, now I am way higher on Lost Temple than a lot of my friends and a lot of the Fall Guys community. A lot of people say it's too luck based. And while I hear that, I do think there's a legit strategy where you just like you kind of hang around, not the back, but you hang around that second level, like I was saying about where is it? DoorDash. Where'd I put DoorDash? Right here. You kind of hang around the second level for the first half of it, and then by the time a clear path to the crown has presented itself, that's when you get real athletic, and that's when you boost your way to the top. There's a lot of variability within the rooms in terms of the obstacles. To me, man, Lost Temple's A tier. I'm sorry. Like I know, like I think there are some people who would put it in D tier. Like, truth be told, a lot of people might disagree with this. For me, it's A. The question is where in A. Now, it's better than the Big Fans. Yes. Is it better than Fall Mountain? In my opinion, yes. Is it better than the Ski Fall? Probably. I'd say it's right here. I'd say it's right between Hit Parade and Ski Fall. I really, really enjoy Lost Temple, man. Like, I think, truthfully, like, if you think Lost Temple's too luck-based, I'm sorry, you just need to get good. Like, I'm sorry, that's a you issue. That's not a level issue. That's a you issue. Treetop Tumble, really, really fun. Now, it has kind of become the meta to take the lower side, or the lower half at the start, ever since it became a game mechanic where you can slide down the slime. You can kind of, like, skip the entire first half of it, so that recently became the meta. It's still A tier, though, man. It's still a lot of fun. I would put it... It's above Hit Parade. It's above Short Circuit. It's probably above Hoverboard Heroes. Matter of fact, it's probably above Tundra Run. I'm putting it right between the Whirly Gig and Tundra Run, man. Treetop Tumble is a truly elite round. I have a lot of fun with it whenever I play it. Some Fruit, I mean, you're fucking counting fruit, dude. I mean, this is a game designed for the 6-year-olds, truth be told. Like, especially when it's a squads game. Like, you have 4 people in your squad, 4 fully grown men with fucking jobs and adult responsibilities, and y'all are just counting 1 apple and 2 mangoes. Like, I want to put it in hell so bad, but I won't. It's below Hoopsie Daisy, though, truth be told. This is not a fun round. Not a fun round at all. Matter of fact, top of hell. Fuck you. Fuck you, Some Fruit. Okay, I don't know what that's doing there. Airtime. Airtime, it's fun, but it's like, it's so chaotic. Like, it's it's very, very difficult. I shouldn't say it's like impossible, but it's very difficult to get a true like run going on airtime where you can, stay in the zone all the way up until 100%. Like the odds are, 80, 85% odds are you're going to get flung off. And then that's when it gets real like ragdoll physics dependent, because sometimes you can get completely fucked on like, the way you get flung off, you kind of like bouncing around. You have to run all the way back down to the tube. Sometimes it can take a while to respawn. That's trash, right? But it is still a fun round, though. I mean, I enjoy the concept behind it. Like, it's better than rock and roll, so it's going B tier. Like, rock and roll is, rock and roll and rollout are kind of the determiners for whether it's A tier or B tier or C tier. It's better than that. It's not too much better. I put it here. I put it right between Wall Guys and Tail Tag. That feels good to me. I feel good about that. Full Tilt. This one just kind of leaves me cold whenever I play it, truth be told. It's a race. It's not that fun of a race. It's very physics dependent. It's too long, I think, for there like not being a lot of true skill involved. It's C tier. I would say, below Seesaw. I would put it I'd put it, I put it right there. Right there goes Full Tilt. There's just not a lot to it, truth be told. Leading Light points for creativity. There's not no other. Airtime similar, but I think Leading Light is honestly better than Airtime, so it's going to go B tier right away. But the thing about Leading Light is, man, like it's just like, it's kind of a clusterfuck where like you have a whole group of like 20, 25 people just all trying to stay in this, relatively small area where sometimes not even all of you can fit in the light. And you have it. Let me see if I can zoom in. Let me see if they show it. Okay, they don't show it, but you have these like force fields that go around that have buttons that you have to push in order to deactivate the force field. Some people can get real toxic with the force fields. And what happens, there's truly nothing you can do, because like if you're on the other side of the button, there's no way to deactivate it. So you have to run all the way around the fucking map to get to the light, at which point you've lost. Like you've lost at that point. So that's toxic. I do enjoy it. It's B tier. I think, have we zoomed in a little bit? Yeah. Okay. So I would go better than Wall Guys, better than Fall Ball. No, I mean, I think we have to keep the Getting Athletic tier together. Matter of fact, new tier. This will henceforth be known as Getting Athletic. And it can't be yellow. It will be fucking green. I don't know. Do we already have a green? Yeah, we already have a green. Whatever. All right, this is the Getting Athletic tier. It's Jump Showdown, it's Basketball, and it's Fall Ball. I feel good about that. This is kind of Getting Athletic tier. Yeah, I feel good about this. Okay. Party Promenade, instant A tier, borderline S tier. I really, really enjoyed this one. A little bit of overexposure again, but I think this is one of the more skill-based races there is, where you can, if you know to go to the left tube in the beginning, if you know how to maneuver yourself properly into the golden tubes, the golden pipes, you can really like launch yourself into a top 5, top 150, maybe even a top right, maybe even damn near a top left if you're playing this with your friends. This is a lot of fun, man. It's like, I think it's right here, honestly. It's high A tier. It's like on the verge of being an S. I just think there's like a lot of athleticism to this one. There's a lot of skill gap, and but getting into all the golden tubes, it's harder than it looks, ladies and gentlemen. Take it from me. Why? Proteus disease with a plaque that can be felt in a curve in their penis greater than 30 degrees of tree. What are you trying to say to me right now, tier maker? What are you trying to say to me? Because I know these ads are fucking. I know I know Big Brother's listening right now. Like what is this? I can't click out of it either. I'm sick. Pipe Dream. Ooh, I want to put it in S so bad, man. I want to put it in S so bad. I'm not going to do it, but it's so fun, man. It goes right between Freezy Peak and Party Promenade, man. You choose a pipe, you get athletic, and there's a lot of different variations, a lot of different, there's a lot of potentiality here, a lot of different obstacles. Depending on which pipes you choose, you can kind of like game it out. If you get really sweaty like me, you can try to, at least with the initial 2 tubes, as it's zooming out, or as it's zooming back to the beans and the opening cinematic, you can like take a quick look at those pipes, see which ones you want to take to get the easier obstacles. That's what I do because I'm a dog, because I got that dog in me, and I don't play these fucking games with these 8-year-olds, right? That's what I do. But pipe dream's a lot of fun, man. I really enjoy that round. Sweet Thieves. Now this is going to be the first one. I don't remember Sweet Thieves, and as a matter of fact, 15-second break, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to look up what Sweet Thieves is because I'm curious. Sweet Thieves. Fall Guys. Steal candies and throw it in the bucket. Yeah, I've never played this. I have not. It was a time-limited show with the first instance running from March 8th, 2022. And it has only appeared... Okay, so it only appears for like 4 days at a time. It's appeared quite a few times, but it only appears for like 4 days at a time. I don't know. I've never played it. I don't know what this is. You two can look it up. Apparently, it's like kind of a capture the flag thing with eggs, which seems kind of cool, but didn't play it, y'all. Couldn't tell you. Blast Ball. This is the dodgeball final with the exploding balls. It's fine. The problem with this and then a couple of the other ones, which I think we'll get to later, is the physics with the exploding balls is kind of weird. Like sometimes it can send you fucking flying into the pits of Hades, and then sometimes you can be right next to it, you barely feel a thing, man. Sometimes your beam just falls over, just flies like 6 inches of the air, and that's it. Like it's very, very strange. There's not a lot of consistency with the animations and the physics, seemingly, with Blast Ball. Still fun. Now, is it better? Like, let me see here. I don't think it's better than Roll Off. So, like, I'm putting it, I would say here. No, get out of my way. Here. Truth be told, it's like mid to high C tier. It's fine. It's fun, but there's kind of like some basic core elements that I think are kind of broken that kind of fuck it up. Bounce Party, man, this is a fun round. Where did this go? Man? High B tier. I really enjoy this. Now, this is... if you remember, this is the one where Kelpie and I got nice and athletic, ladies and gentlemen. If you remember Fall Guys Sunday night, if you know, you know. Kelpie and I finished number 1 and 2. So shout out to Justin, shout out to the Better League hoodie. Better than Hexagon, yes. Better than Roll On, yes. Not as good as Night Fever. But this is a lot of fun. You're essentially like you're bouncing on these trampolines here, trying to jump within these, what is this called? Oh my God, the rings. I don't know why rings took me so long. This is what happens when you like record uninterrupted for over an hour. Sometimes like basic words can escape you, which, OG Better League podcast members know. I used to record those things in one take. So like y'all remember me stumbling over basic words plenty of times. We've been here in like the Madden 17, Madden 18 days. But I say all that to say you jump through the rings, you try to get 100 points, I think, with blue being worth 10 and gold, I think, being worth 30 before anyone else. And there's like platforms you can climb and all this other shit. So a lot of fun. Is Bounce Party. Hex a Ring. I think this is worse than Hexagon, but not by much. It's just like, I don't know. It's pretty good. It can cause a lot of... Where's Hexagon? Yeah, it's right here. So like, probably goes right. Nah, I don't like it as much as Thin Ice, truth be told. So I'd probably put it here. It's the one where, much like Roll Out or Roll On or Roll Off, the cylinder is constantly rotating. You have to run along with it, and as you go, the hexagons will slowly start to disappear. I think it's one of those ones, truthfully, where like it sounds more fun in theory than it actually is in practice. I used to really enjoy it, but maybe it's a little bit of overexposure. I think, is this the one that Dan said he thought was like F tier? I think he did, so he might be screaming at me right now, but I'd say, yeah, mid to low B tier for Hexa Ring. Speed Circuit, oh man. I mean, you talk about getting athletic, ladies and gentlemen. This is so fun. And the sanctity of S tier, man. Does this belong? No, but I think, truth be told, I think it's above Freezy Peak. I think we've just dethroned Freezy Peak as the top of A tier. Speed Circuit, a whole lot of fun. If you jump into those, wait. Hold on. Oh, I was thinking of track attack the whole time. What the fuck? I was thinking of track attack the whole time, ladies and gentlemen. Speed circuit, not as good as track attack. My goodness, it's still A tier though. Let me calm down. I was about to mislead the people. I was about to promote disinformation on this Better League Network YouTube channel. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Track attack is the one that's high A tier, ladies and gentlemen. I do apologize. Track attack is the one where you can get really athletic. If you stay on the top, you get those speed boosts. You stay, let me zoom in here. You stay on these top, if you see where my mouse is moving, you stay on this top platform right here. You get another speed boost, jump, another boost here, boom, jump, ramp, boom, 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 and then top right, ladies and gentlemen, excuse me. That is how you get so athletic on track attack. I think track attack is probably like, it's not the hardest round period, but it's the hardest round to perfect. Like if you have a true clean top right level run at track attack, like you're a Fall Guys god for that day. Like it is what it is. Like that is the height of accomplishment, in my opinion, the height of getting sweaty, the height of getting athletic in Fall Guys. Now, I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen, not to give Speed Circuit sort of credit. This is the one that like you're on a track, almost like a track and field race, and it's 2 laps, and you get the speed boosts, and you're kind of dodging all these different obstacles. Fun, certainly a lot of fun. Still A tier. Now, is it as good? I kind of just put it here, just arbitrarily. Is it as good as Treetop Tumble? No. Is it as good as Tundra Run? Probably not. Hoverboard Heroes? I wouldn't say so. I think the circuits might be right next to each other, ladies and gentlemen, and I think Speed Circuit is slightly better. It's mid A tier. Truth be told, I think that's where Speed Circuit belongs. But man, I was about to fucking mislead y'all on Better League Network. What the fuck is what am I doing? I'm shook now. This swivel, yeah. Low C tier. This is such a matter of fact, high D tier, ladies and gentlemen. Fuck the swiveler. It's just so repetitive. There's like three obstacles the entire time. You have the swinging tubes. You have the hammers that either go like this or like this, and then you have the what do you even have at the end? Well, I mean, you have the fan chasing you, but that's kind of it in terms of obstacles. Like it's just you stay in the inside track, so you always outrun the fan, and it takes forever. Is another thing. It takes fucking forever, especially if you're in a good lobby. And that's just kind of all there is to it. Like it's not a lot to the swiveler. So I don't know. It is what it is. Volleyball, y'all know what time it is. Immediately getting athletic tier. And as a matter of fact, I enjoy volleyball the best out of all these. Jump Showdown goes over here. I would say, yeah, volleyball, then basketball, then fall ball. Although the variants matter here. The variants definitely matter. But in general, if I had to kind of like equalize between all of them, that's what I would say. And that concludes, I think, the getting athletic tier. So shout out. This is kind of annoying me that it's in the same color as A. So let me go magenta. Yeah, I feel good about that. All right. Bean Hill Zone. It sucks. It sucks, dude. It's not as bad as Hoopsie Daisy, so we're going to put it here. I mean, you talk about a disappointment. When I heard there was a Sonic-themed, like, getting athletic, getting speedy round, I was so excited. I remember talking to Lucky about it, just overjoyed, just overcome with the possibility, but not a fun round. Just not a fun round. I think the issue with this, like I said with, where is it? Like I said with Bubble Trouble. I think Bubble Trouble and Bean Hill Zone have the same issues where, like, there's too many people, so the rings just get, like, you have to get really lucky with, like, where you happen to be when the rings show up, or you're just, like, you're fucked. Like, you can't get to them because there's too many people. There's always going to be someone just, like, taking it immediately. Cosmic Highway, fun race, not at that A tier, but I would say high B tier. What are we looking at here? I'd say right here, truth be told. I'd say right there, truth be told. It's a really fun space-themed race. You have those, the first time I mentioned these, you have these kind of like jet propulsors here that can fling you up into there. You can skip entire sections of the map with those. If you stand on them as they're about to fire, you can just like leap over entire ones. You can get athletic there. It's fun, you know. It's a fun round. These usually rotate. There's small margins here. You can get real athletic and get real sweaty. I enjoy that greatly. It's a lot of fun. Frantic Fat. Oh, Jesus Christ. We're going back to the hell tier, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll tell you why this is hell tier. It's not because, and it's top of hell tier. It's not because it's like a horrible concept, but it's another one of those situations, just like being Hillzone, where like there's too many people, and it is like if you are not already like practically humping the button that lights up, it is just way too difficult to get over there, especially with the treadmills, especially with the multiple levels with these glass tubes, phasing the buttons, making it go between green and yellow. It's way too difficult if you're not. It's just a lot of luck involved. There's a lot of luck involved with Frantic Factory, and I just don't think it's that fun to begin with. Top of hell tier. I don't even think it's as good as Hoopsie Daisy. Like for me, like if you're below Hoopsie Daisy, you're in hell tier. That's just automatic. Hexaterrestrial, this is the slightly worse version of the other hexes. Like it's not as good as Hexagon. It's not as good as Hexafall. Excuse me. That's what it's called, right? Am I exposing myself here? Hexa Ring. Christ. Again, recording for over an hour straight, ladies and gentlemen. But Hexaterrestrial is fine. Like, it's super easy until the wall starts closing in. And then even then, when the wall's fully closed in, it really is, you kind of are just, like, counting out the clock. It's usually you and, like, one or two more people, and you're just kind of trying to box each other in, whatever. It's fine. It's not as good as Roll-Off. It's not as good as Gate Crash. Where are we at here? Not as good as Blast Ball, as a matter of fact. I would put it fucking here. It's whatever. It's mid-C tier. Hyperdrive Heroes. Now, this is the other version of Hoverboard Heroes. I enjoy Hoverboard Heroes slightly more, but this is still A tier. I mean, this is still a lot of fun. I think this was the first version, if I remember correctly, and then Hoverboard Heroes came second. But this is the space themed one where you end up having to hop off of the platform halfway through and kind of run across the gauntlet and then get back on it. And then get athletic, jump on the ramp, and then just emote your way to the finish line. Again, it's A tier. I would say probably right here, probably right between Short Circuit and Hit Parade. I feel pretty good about that. It's not quite at the level of Hoverboard Heroes. Very, very solid, though. I really enjoy it. Oh, buddy. I mean, you talk about... I have some stories to tell about this one, and I know a lot of my Fall Guys brothers do too. You talk about one that it lives or dies with your teammates, man. I mean, if you are playing with randoms, and if you get an 8-year-old who doesn't know what they're doing and just jumps up, like, just all willy-nilly on these, it is quite literally impossible. But then if you lock in, like, shout out to Jesse if you made it this far. If you lock in like Jesse and myself did recently, where you're just, you're communicating, one of you's taking half, one of you's taking the other half, you're locked in, then it's enjoyable. I just don't know, man. It gets points for creativity. It doesn't get a lot of points beyond that, man. It's probably like, it's better than Perfect Deathmatch. It's probably, better than Power Trip 2. It's probably here. It's like low-ish C tier. Space Race? No, that's a lie. I do remember Space Race, and I remember it was a lot of fun. I feel like I've only played it like twice, ever, truth be told. But it's very difficult. There's multiple levels to it. There is definitely an athletic component to it. I don't like it quite as much as Night Fever. I don't even think I like it quite as much as... It's probably here. I can't say much about it. Like, I remember it in broad strokes, but not much beyond that. But I remember enough to remember that I enjoyed it, and that's high B tier. Star Chart, this is the one where you have... It's like Tiptoe in the sense that you have a path that you have to follow, but there's like... No, that's a lie. You don't all have your own path, but there's no getting toxic because there's no like pushing people into fake tiles. You just kind of have to like look up at a screen at the top of the map and then follow where the follow where these are based on that. Now follow where the platform is. Excuse me, based on that. It's fine. It's kind of in the same vein, truth be told, as Pixel Painters, but it's a little better than Pixel Painters. I'd put it here. Nearing the end, ladies and gentlemen, Tiptoe finale. Now, this is the only finale I have never won. I have never won this, ladies and gentlemen. I know you're gasping. I know you're like, what the fuck, Connor? You sure you're the one who's qualified to give this tier list? Yeah, first off, yes, don't disrespect me like that. Second off, I mean, I only played this a couple times, man, and it was always with my buds. It was always with Lucky. It was always with Dan. It was always with, P-Town and Justin. It was always, people who got sway with me. It's most certainly not the gang I flagged here. It's high C. I think it's actually... This might be top of C, truth be told. Excuse me. There we go. Because it's a lot of fun. I think, like... Truth be told, a lot of it is so part of this part of the mechanic is you have to like fling cannonballs into the into the area here to kind of take out like fake tiles. They'll essentially eventually reset themselves, so you have to be pretty good with your memory. But a lot of it is that, and I always felt like that game mechanic was like kind of weird in terms of the physics behind it, but still fun. High C, I would say, for Tiptoe Finale. Boy, we're at the final 6, ladies and gentlemen. So let's really take our time with these. Treat Thieves, don't remember. So right away. I think Sweet Thieves and Treat Thieves were probably part of the same event. I never played it. So sorry if you feel lied to. Sorry if you feel disrespected, but that's where we're at. Speed Slider, I think, is... It's low B. We're probably going to put it above Wall Guys, above Leading Lads. I'd say right here. Like, it's fun. You can get athletic. If you know how to kind of game the system and on the turns. So right here, you see this turn? As you're going up here, if you jump and then immediately dive, like, you can avoid the whole, like, curve part and just go, boom, like, straight into the lower level. I don't know if that messes. So you can either go curve or you can go boom. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, that's some elite content out of me, what you just saw. Thank you, and you're welcome. But Speed Slider's fun. A lot of speed to it, a lot of athleticism to it, a lot of reaction time to it. If you go down the middle, and as a matter of fact, just for the challenge of going down the middle, I'm bumping it higher in B. We're putting it right here before Space Race and above Roll On, because I almost forgot about the sheer challenge behind getting middle and then how good of a feeling it is once you get it. So yeah, that makes it go from mid B to high B. Hoop Shoot. This is fucking D, dude. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't enjoy Hoop Shoot whatsoever. It's like everyone qualifies at the same time. There's no real challenge to it. It's just like the same shit over and over again. And like if you fuck up once, you're done. But also if you fuck up once, you should be done because there's no challenge. Yeah, that's right. At high D, I would say. It should have been so much better. If they had more branching paths, if they had more shit like that, it would have been so much better. But I don't know. It's high D tier, man. And that's all I have to say about that. Puzzle Path. Fuck Puzzle Path. But it's not hell. It is... Actually, I do have to give it points for originality. I'm going to put it, like, the lowest C tier. Actually, it's better than Perfect Match, because it's harder. Hello? There we go. But, I mean, Puzzle Path is just, like... I don't know. In practice, you just end up like following the leader on it. There's not a lot of challenge for the first 2, and then it gets like real toxic for the final 2. Especially with I found the one with the fan. I found that it's like really hard to even find where the middle begins. So you kind of just have to like guess on the final one. But it's fine. No, it's whatever. You start in the middle here. You follow the unbroken line until you get to one. So like here would be, so you'd still be running this way in this situation. You'd still be running this way. So low C tier. Points for originality, points for creativity, but I don't care if I ever play it again. Hell tier. Takes way too long and it's way too easy. Fucking next, dude. I don't... This is bad. This is just a poorly conceived... This is one that should have been so much better. Like, it's a regular round version of where is it? Blast Ball. Yeah, it's a regular round version of Blast Ball. It's on a pretty cool map. But the problem is, dude, I mean, you can just stand in the middle. You can emote. You can dance. You can meditate. You can put the controller down and you are fine because you are not getting blasted off. I mean, Dan and I... and then the other part of it takes way too fucking long. Way too fucking long because there's not even a timer on it. It's just up until the water rises, which takes like over 2 minutes. So hell tier for Blast Atlantis. Crack and Slam, I mean, we're kind of ending on a whimper here. Crack and Slam is whatever. It's kind of... So it's... I'm trying to compare it to other finals, right? So it's... where's the nearest final here? Blast Ball, it's not as good as Blast Ball. And then... Right, it's way better than Royal Fumble. I mean, Jesus Christ. Hoarders, Perfect Deathmatch. Is it as good as Power Trip? I would say it's a little better than Power Trip and probably better than Pixel Painters. So this is where I would put it. Yeah, it kind of, it's whatever. The physics can get weird with the Kraken. Shout out to the Seattle Kraken, by the way. The physics can get weird with the Kraken tentacles slamming you. Sometimes you can just stand still for like 30 seconds at a time and be fine, which is not what you want out of a final. There's like not a lot of intensity there, but you do have to keep your head on a swivel a little bit. And, it can be certainly legitimately challenging near the end where like almost all of the platforms have Kraken tentacles surrounding them. So that's kind of it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to kind of take one final look at this tier, see if there's anything. First thing I'm doing, I'm moving Track Attack up to S. I think it deserves it. I don't know why I didn't. I want to with Freezy Peak, but like 5 feels good enough for S. And I do think there's kind of a quality drop off between Track Attack and Freezy Peak. But man, Track Attack is so fun. I mean, we had, me, Jesse, P-Town, Lucky, Dan, Steel, all the guys. We had so much fun on Track Attack when it first came out. And I still have fun on it to this day. And you can get real athletic on it. So I think the S tier being these 5 is like perfectly fine. In terms of like rearranging things, I'm just going to do kind of a quick scan here. So Freeze Peak, Pipe Dream, Promenade, Stumble. I'd say Whirligig is better than Stumble. Tumble, Tremble Run. Hoverboard. Speed Circuit better than Hoverboard Heroes. I would say Short Circuit. Hyperdrive Heroes. Hit Parade better than Hyperdrive. Lost Temple, Ski Fall. Fall Mountain, Big Fan. I'm moving Night Fever up to A. That's another thing I'm doing. But no higher. Cosmic Highway, Bounce Party, Space Race, Speed Slider. Roll On, Hexagon. I'm going to bump up a couple just out of respect, even though there's the overexposure thing. I do think it's one of the better finals easily. Fruit Shoot, DoorDash, Thin Ice, Leading Light. Wall Guys better than Leading Light. Hex Ring, Airtime, Tail Tag, Rock and Roll. Getting Athletic Tier, no notes there. Tiptoe, Thin Eye Roll, Jump. Ski, Seesaw. These two. This is bothering me because it's all now. See, Seesaw's worse. Matter of fact, Seesaw's worse than Extraterrestrial because Seesaw is so based on where you start, man, and that frustrates me. It should be so much better than it is. Star Trek full tilt. I feel like I disrespected here. I'm bumping full tilt up like a couple spots, probably above Seesaw. Truth be told, Star Trek, Kraken Slam, Pixel Painters. Perfect Dimension, whatever. Puzzle Path. Hoop Shoot. I don't know if Hoop Shoot belongs in this here. I'm putting it at bottom of C. Excuse me. That felt a little disrespectful to Hoop Shoot. Swiveler, Button Bashers, Egg Scramble, Roll of Fumble, Egg Siege, Team Tail Tag, Big Shot, Bean Hill Zone, Hoopsie Daisy, and then you have Hell Tier, which I think I've kind of already covered. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me on this journey here, joining me on this content journey. If you feel at all misled by my introduction, take it up with my lawyers or pay me a salary, and then I'll make as much Madden content as you want. Ladies and gentlemen, shout out to Fall Guys. Peace.